So, you're thinking of moving to Palm Coast, Florida, but you're not sure what the deal is with homeowners insurance? Today we're going to address the elephant in the room, and we're going to talk about homeowners insurance in Florida. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around because we're going to get after it right now. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Stephanie Schulis with Keller Williams Realty. If this is your first time to the channel, please make sure to tap the button below to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, so you'll be the first to be notified every time we put up brand new content all about Palm Coast, Florida living and moving to Palm Coast, Florida and the surrounding areas. We get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you looking to make the move to Palm Coast, Florida every day. We absolutely love it. So whether you're looking to make the move in the next 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we'll do everything we can to help you make a smooth move to Palm Coast, Florida. Today, we're going to address the elephant in the room when it comes to the housing market here in Florida, and that's homeowners insurance. If you've seen any recent headlines, homeowners insurance in Florida is in trouble, and that's why I call it the elephant in the room. I don't have an easy button for it. There's no magic wand I can wave, and there's nothing I can say that make it any prettier. Homeowners insurance in Florida is in trouble. The state of Florida has some of the highest homeowners insurance quotes in the nation, and a lot of that has to do with the storms that we get hit with here, as well as a lot of other contributing factors. I'm going to put 2 articles in the comment section below so you can kind of read the nitty-gritty on how we got here. But the bottom line when it comes to homeowners insurance is simply that there's not a lot of competition. Large national insurers have very little presence in the state of Florida. Big insurance companies dominate the market in other states throughout the country. Here in Florida, State Farm has about a little below 7% of the market share for the entire state, and no other national insurer has even 2%. So our national coverages and options are really low. That means that regional and local insurers are left to pick up the brunt of the market and the coverage here in Florida. And that poses a big problem. More than half of them are on the state regulator's watch list simply due to their financial health. To make up for the risk that they're having to take on, they're charging 4 times the national average for their insurance rates. On average, in Florida, homeowners are paying about $6,000 for their homeowners insurance, whereas the national average is only $1,700. These smaller local and regional insurers are charging at higher rates to make up for the risk so that when policyholders do file claims, they have the money to address those claims without having to liquidate, which has happened. The state does provide an alternative to the private sector, and that is through Citizens Property Insurance Corporation. It is meant to be a last resort for folks who cannot qualify for the high rates on the private market. In order to qualify for Citizens, the lowest quote that you get from a private sector insurer has to be 20% higher than what Citizens can do. With affordable insurance getting harder and harder to find, more and more people are turning to Citizens. And this poses another problem. The Board of Citizens has announced that the premiums it charges is not enough to cover the risk that they assume. That means that one hurricane, one storm, could quickly wipe out all of Citizens' reserves, which would force it to impose emergency assessments on its policyholders. and it would of course affect all of the other insurance providers across the state. Because Citizens has admitted that, they're now looking at having to increase their rates by 14%, which is of course going to affect the other providers throughout the state. All of this sounds scary, and I don't say it to scare you. I do say it so that you understand a brief background as to why homeowners insurance in Florida is in a bad state, and it's not likely to get better anytime soon. So what can we do about it if we're looking to buy in Florida? The first thing that I subscribe to is no surprises. So when you're buying a house during our due diligence period, I will encourage you to get a quote for homeowners insurance. I will encourage you to work with a broker so that you can get multiple quotes at once during that tight timeline when we're on due diligence. This way you know what your policy is going to be, and you know whether or not you're going to be able to afford the home with the mortgage that you have, with any other mortgage insurance that you may have, with estimated property taxes, and then with your estimated insurance. You will understand the full package going in, and we won't have any surprises when we sit down at the closing table. As I mentioned, I do encourage working with a broker. That way you get multiple quotes and you can really shop it around to determine the best policy and the best fit for you. That means if you already own your home in Florida, I'm going to suggest you shop around for your homeowner's insurance every year. It can be a huge pain and a large undertaking to do yourself. Again, that's where I'm a proponent of using an insurance broker to really help do that homework and that background for you and help you identify the policy every year. And it may be a different policy every year, and unfortunately that's just kind of one of the things we have to do here when you're a property owner in Florida with our current insurance market. I mentioned that I don't have a magic wand to paint a pretty picture of this, and it isn't. The facts are the facts. So I would also encourage you to look at all of the other facts. While homeowners insurance in Florida is one of the highest in the nation, our property taxes tend to be lower than a lot of other states. Our cost of living tends to be lower than a lot of other areas. So if you're moving here from an outside area and you're shocked by the homeowners insurance here in Florida, you should be. It's outrageous. But I would also encourage you to look at some of the other cost savings that you may be having so that it maybe kind of balances out a little bit from what you're used to. If, of course, you are moving here from an area that has lower property taxes or lower cost of living, and all of this is just shocking, I hear you. I understand that. And to that, I would just encourage you to look at your motivations for moving to Florida. Perhaps it's a lifestyle change where you're maybe going to be paying a little bit more on this side of things, but what you're going to be getting in return is a lifestyle that you've always dreamed of, either being closer to the beach or maybe closer to grandkids, something like that, that maybe buffs it out a little bit more in terms of, is it worth it? And as I always tell my customers, again, I'm a big proponent of no surprises. The reason we do all of that homework up front during our due diligence period is so that you have a solid understanding of what you can afford. And if at the end of the day, this just isn't a fit and you need to reevaluate whether or not moving to Florida, moving to Palm Coast is a right fit for you, this is definitely a piece of information that you're going to want to be looking at and going to want to factor into that equation. I'm here to help in any way that I can. My team is here to help in any way that we can. Not a pretty topic, but definitely something that needs to be talked about. Elephant had to be called out. If you have any questions, if you want to talk specifics about your current situation, you can leave a comment below. You can send us a text, give us a call, shoot us an email, and we'll do everything we can to help you understand what your options are regarding homeowners insurance here in Florida, as well as what that means in helping you make a smooth move to Palm Coast, Florida. We'll see you on the next video.